So today I'm going to take you through my $10,000 M1 Finance portfolio. We're going to look at every single stock we have, how much we actually own in it, and then how it's been performing since I've had actual ownership into each stock individually. Now, before I actually show you my portfolio, one thing to really keep in mind is this wasn't something that happened instantaneously. I didn't just put $10,000 into this portfolio. This definitely took quite a bit of time. I actually started this account in January of 2019, started putting a small amount in every month, and then when the market kind of went down in early 2020, I started putting in a lot more money, and then of course over time this is built up to something that it is now, which is over $10,000. So hopefully this encourages you to get started with your portfolio, with investing, even if it's $10 a week, $10 a month, I don't care. Just get started because it can really go a long way. So now with that being all said, let's go ahead and load up M1 Finance right over here on the screen so you guys can see what I'm seeing here in real time. So as you can see here, as of today, as of this recording, I actually have $10,097.53. That is up over $1,197.43. M1 Finance, in case you're not too familiar with them, do a money weighted return on the front end here, which just essentially means is this is all the money I've ever actually earned, whether it's unrealized gains or dividends or sold a stock and then had that money reinvested. So essentially all that just means is if I pretty much pulled all my money out, that's essentially what I've had extra after I've actually put my money in. But if you're curious on the unrealized gains, we're going to take a quick look here into my holdings just so you can kind of see this. Right over here, my unrealized gains at this time is $910.41 at 9.91%. So that's where I'm sitting at as an unrealized gain. So let's go ahead and go back in here. So with M1 Finance, I can put things into separate sectors. As you can see here, I got tech, financials, real estate, retail. I do have a ETF here with Vanguard. We got growth, consumer products, industries, as well as health. So we're going to go into each one of these and check out every single stock we have. Of course, my tech is actually my biggest section that I have in my overall portfolio. So we're going to go ahead and click in here. So I only got 3 stocks as of right now. I did kind of interchange these as I was growing the portfolio. I had upwards of like 6 or 7, and then I started cutting them down as well, which is a big thing to note when it comes to really getting started with investing is that you might actually change your mind and how you want to be investing, and that is totally okay. You can watch old content pieces where I'm like going through the process of removing and then adding, removing and adding all those different things just to kind of finally have a more solidified, stance on what I wanted in my portfolio. So you can see here, the top one right now is currently Apple. I definitely started putting a lot more in right when they were announcing that they were going to be splitting their stock. So if we click in here, we can see, refresh that there. So we have 2.52 shares of Apple. Currently, right now, you can see that overall on my all-time, I'm up $177.35 on this stock. So not bad at all. And let's go ahead. The next one is Microsoft. So with Microsoft, I have just about 4 shares of the stock, and I'm up about $56.53 overall on this stock itself. And then lastly, in the tech sector here, I have AT&T. I have 19.26 shares. Now, for anybody that's curious about the 0.26 and how that happens is M1 Finance allows you to do fractional shares, which is one of my favorite things ever when it comes to being able to buy into stocks, just because that way you don't have to worry about all that money being available for you to be able to buy a stock at its full price. So for me, that's something that I absolutely love. Now, AT&T, currently I'm only up $4.11, but a majority of that is because of the dividends I got paid out. But that's where AT&T is sitting at currently. So let's go ahead and go into the next sector, which is going to be financials. But before I do that, you can actually see my tech sector in its all-time is up $278.72. All right, so financials, let's go ahead and click in here. So we got 4 stocks in financials. The first one is with Aflac. Really like this company personally, and I still think as of this recording that they're really undervalued. So I've been buying quite a bit into them every single week. But right now I have 14.133 shares of Aflac. Right now I'm up about $12.45, which I know is not a lot, but again, just because of where they are in the market, they seem to be a little bit lower, but hey, totally cool. It just means I can actually dollar cost average and get it at a really good steal. So the next one is going to be Discover Financials. I actually have 6.388 shares of Discover. Now this one's a really cool one. You can see here I'm up about $98.78, which might not seem like a lot of money, but for the time that I actually own the stock, I bought it pretty much at the bare bottom, and then it's starting to go back up. So I'm getting a lot of those gains just from actually buying at pretty much the best time I could. And then next up on this group here, we have Ally Financial. I have about 11 shares of this. Currently up actually $52.34 on this stock as well. So this one's doing pretty good as well. And then next up on this right here is going to be Visa. So with Visa, I have 1.18 shares, totaling a gain right now of about $12.78. Probably would have been more if I was able to actually invest more into this, but I wasn't, honestly, for a short period of time. So those are going to be all the financials. And as of right now, we have $170.61 in gains with the financial sector there. Although, to be 100% frank, the thing with financials is over time, I'm probably going to put less into them. They were just a really good value at the time, just because statistically they don't seem to do as good as some of these other sectors. So I'm probably not going to be adding a lot more into the financial sector unless the stocks continue to go down or stay down for a long period of time. So next up is my real estate right over here. So with real estate, I got 3 stocks as well. I got Realty Income. I have 8.43 shares of this, currently up $61.73 on this, which is fantastic. Of course, this is a monthly paying dividend, which is also great. I mean, every month I actually earn a little bit of extra money. And then we have New Residential, which I know is pretty popular here on YouTube, so a lot of people might have this as well. I have 38.42 shares. That seems like a lot, but obviously the price point is a lot lower. For me, I'm actually positive in this, at least as of this recording, at $13.89. That's including the value as well as the dividends that I've been getting paid out, which I'm really happy with because I know a lot of people were really freaking out with this stock for quite a while. Now, last up in the real estate is the DLR. So DLR, I have 1.23 shares, so not a lot currently, but I am up $28.30 from this stock as well. Really like this one. I think this one is going to be something very long-term for me, so I'm excited to constantly put more into this one. So as of right now with real estate, I'm up total $103.31 altogether in there. So next up is going to be our retail. So our retail, we have Home Depot as the first one here. We have 1.35 shares at $51.53 in total gains thus far. So I'm pretty excited about this one. It's also going to be one that I'm planning on holding on for a very long time. Next up, we have Ross. So Ross is 2.73 shares currently as of right now. So I am currently up $10.75 as a whole with this stock. Now, I do like this stock, even though they did suspend their dividend for a little bit. I think they still have a lot of longevity, and I think even in a time where, you know, there might be downturns in the market, especially when people can actually go into stores, Ross is going to perform pretty well in that area. So I'm hoping and obviously putting my money in that area just because I think it's going to continue to grow. So next up we have is Starbucks at 2.83 shares. I'm up about $5.21. One big thing to kind of note here as well, as you can see that I don't have tons of shares of every company here. I have about 30 stocks that I'm currently holding. So a little bit goes into each one, but that little bit of money is actually growing overall. So you can see that even with not a lot of ownership, it is still going very far just because fractional shares give me the ability to do so. So next up after that is going to be Costco. So with Costco, I have 0.57 shares, so about a little over half a share that I own with them. But because I was able to buy that half share, I'm up $19.72 on my money so far, which is always a good thing to be in the green. So right now with retail, I'm actually up $200.20 in total. Next up on this list is Vanguard. So with Vanguard, they have the VOO, which is the one I personally have. And sometimes it does this. Hold on. So the total number of shares I have is 3.34, which you can see over here. A total value gain of $156.99 is what I'm currently up in my all-time. Now, this Vanguard fund is actually one of the very few that I started with at the very beginning of my investing portfolio. So this has been around since the inception of this account. So I've definitely been adding just a little bit here and there every single week, pretty much as I've been investing. So it's really nice to see that I'm gaining a lot of value in the growth. Obviously, I if I could have, I would have put more. I wish I could have put more, but that's okay too, because even if you can't, like we talked about earlier, invest a lot, it still goes a very long way. So before we continue on, if you want to support this channel, because I do provide this content entirely for free, check out my link in the show notes down below if you have student loans that you might need to refinance, because refinancing your student loans can actually save you thousands of dollars depending on where your interest rates are currently. And the nice thing is, if you're saving some of that extra money, you can use that potentially to invest more in your investing accounts. So make sure you check that link down below, help support out the channel so I can continue to provide free content just like this for you. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the rest of this list and see what else we have in our portfolio. Now, next up is my growth. Now, this is actually a little bit newer. I've mainly been focused on dividends when it comes to investing, but I also decided to get into a few growth companies. They are technically tech stocks, I do know that, but I do want them in a growth portfolio. So one, it's easier to manage for me, and then I can see their performance against everybody else's. So these ones right over here, the first one is going to be Google. I own 0.17 shares. I'm only up about $2.58. Again, these are fairly new into my portfolio. So we also got Amazon at 0.8 or 0.08, I should say, but I am up $15.24 with them. And then next up is going to be Tesla. I actually have Tesla also in my Robinhood account, but I decided to just add them here as well. This one I have 0.17 shares, and I'm up $29.07 in total with them. So last up in this group is Facebook. I have 0.95 shares, which is up about $24.14 in my overall portfolio. So in total right now with my growth stocks, I'm up $71.03, which is not bad for owning them for a very short amount of time. All right, so next up on this list is going to be our consumer products. So this one right over here, we got 4 different stocks as well. First and foremost, we got Pepsi in this list. We have 2.04 shares, and we are currently up about $9.15 with this stock. So not as much as some of these other stocks we've been looking at, but definitely okay because they're also mainly focused in on the dividend side of things. So next up, we're going to have Hasbro. Hasbro, we have 2.70 shares with this company, and we're currently up $19.39, which I'm actually really happy about. And then after that, we got Procter & Gamble, so ticker number PG here. We have 1.44 shares, and then we are currently up $26.39 with this stock. And then last on this list here, we have Kraft Heinz. I know some people don't like Kraft Heinz, but honestly, at the price point they were at, it was definitely worth giving them a shot. And for me right now, I have 5.53 shares. Total gain right now is actually $26.57. So pretty happy about that. Hopefully they continue to move forward. And right now with my consumer products, I'm up about $98.36. So next up on this, we got Industries. So with Industries, we have Lockheed Martin right over here. We got 0.72 shares. We're up $13.20. Before this recording, I know they were down for a couple of weeks. I was actually doubling down just a little bit. Obviously, their average sale price for the stock was pretty high up there. So me putting in like $20 didn't really feel like it was doing a lot, but it was more than I was normally doing. So that's one of the things I like to do is when the price point is lower than what I originally purchased it for, I like to double down if I believe in that company. In case you're not too familiar with that, you can see right here in the market, the current price for this one is $389, and my average share price is $371. So now the value of the stock is higher. But if the market was lower, that means I can buy into it again and actually lower my average cost, which is always a great thing to do. You might hear that a lot, called dollar cost averaging. So next up is ADP. Now this one I'm also currently adding quite a bit as well into. I have 1.95 shares, and I'm currently down at $6.87. So this is actually, I think, one of the only ones I'm currently down in my all-time. We just talked about dollar cost averaging. Like I mentioned, I'm buying more into the stock, so you can see in the market area over there, a current price for this is $138.17. My average is $142.21. So what that means is that if I buy another share of this company, that the average share price is going to go down for me because I am buying at a lower cost, which then in turn, if the stock goes back up in price, I'm going to gain all those that value growth. So for me, this is what I'm kind of doing, is making sure if I have an opportunity like this, I'll definitely double down. Again, as long as I believe in that company long term. So next up is we have 3M, really popular stock here on YouTube. I know a lot of YouTubers have them. So currently I have 1.16 shares of 3M, and I'm up actually $15.65. So not too shabby with them. And the overall for my industries currently is up $28.63. But like I mentioned, 2 out of the 3 are taking quite a bit of a hit over the last few weeks. So that has quite a bit of an effect on there. And then here at the bottom, we have health as well. We got 3 stocks in this one. As you might have noticed, I don't have a ton of stocks in each different sector. I try to keep it minimized so that way I don't overexpose myself, one, to sectors that I'm not too familiar with, like energy and all that, but also, two, because I want to be pretty diversified with every single sector that I am in, so that way I can keep tabs on how everything is doing. Now, for the health sector here, the first one we have is Johnson & Johnson. We have 1.57 shares, and we're currently up $9.36 in the all-time for this one. Next up, we got AbbVie. So this one is 2.31 shares is what we currently have, up about $8.96. And then last in this group is Pfizer. So this one we currently actually have 5.39 shares, and we're up $22.03. And then overall for health, we are up $43.57. Now, as I mentioned earlier as well too, this is my portfolio. This is kind of how it's looking like for pretty much the long term. I don't plan on selling or buying a lot of stocks, in this portfolio for the most part. It's pretty much just continuing to, invest in the ones that I currently have. But always keep in mind that this is, my risk tolerance, this is my preference, and this is what I can focus on currently. I know some people like to have more stocks, some people have to like to have less. Everybody's a little bit different, and that's okay for you as well, even if you're going through the process and getting started, because I actually started this account with $100. So if I will actually show you here, you can kind of see January 23rd, 2019, there was $100.09 into this account. And as of right now, with August 10th, I have over $10,000 in that $97. So for me personally, it's all a matter of just getting started. Being consistent is huge, because if you don't get started, you're not going to get anywhere. And if you don't continue to do it, then you're not going to get to that place either. So you got to make sure that you stay consistent, you get started, and you can get to a point where you have a healthy amount of money into your investments. Now, if you want to learn how much it takes to make $1,000 a month in dividend income with a portfolio, check out my video right over here where I kind of do a great breakdown of how much you need to put in today or how much you can put in over time to earn that $1,000. My name is Dennis, and I will see you in that next video.